gamers? Welcome to the stream. Hopefully you guys are all having a great week, a great last few weeks. It's been a time, chat. It's been a time. If I look exhausted, it's because I am. Let me tell you guys. Let me tell you. It's not been fun. It has not been fun. We are going to have a whole story time, and this is like your guys' time to like get your popcorn, get your, like, these last 2 weeks, chat. You're going to be in awe. Actually, like, of all of the Lynn stories that I have ever had to Lynn story over like a moment in time, this is one of the best ones I've had, as in like the sheer drama of it all, if you will. So I hope you guys are ready. I know it's been a minute, but it's really good to see you guys. I'm not gonna lie, I miss streaming a lot. Some of you guys already know what happened. Some of you guys know part of what happened. Some of you guys know all of what happened. But it hasn't ended yet, is like the thing that's like kind of insane about it all, is it's still not like, there's not a bow on it yet. So that's a really interesting fact about like all of it, if you will. So on top of that, I do have a lovely little booster box that was sent to us by Viper. We've opened a few packs on stream. I got you, Bri, by the way. So I've opened a few packs on stream. My goal is to hopefully get through this tonight, so then that way we can at least do something. The rest of what I want to say ties into the story, so I can't say the rest of like what I was wanting to do with stream today and stuff like that until we get through the story time. So let me get Bri's Gifty. If you guys don't want to worry about ads during mid-story time, this is your prime time opportunity to get it out of the way. I appreciate you, Bri. Thank you so much, gamer. But good golly, chat. Are you ready? Are you ready to buckle on up? It's prime time. You see? I see what I did. I've prepared myself with my little cup. We're ready. We're hydrated. All right. So let's start. Oh, not with the ad. I'll wait. I'll wait until. Okay. Twitch people literally just got hit with an ad right as I said. All right, let's start here. I'll wait until Twitch gets back. I do need to give 𝚑𝚑𝚘𝚘 one as well, so this actually works out. I can stall. Chat, we're stalling. Stalling. Yeah, that was nuts. I didn't time that. I didn't like try to time that, I guess is what I should say. Kinda nuts. Okay. Hey, 𝚑𝚑𝚘𝚘's back. Okay. They've got like 55 seconds. They've got like solid 55 seconds left, so Lynn's with the stall ability. That's what I'm saying. Chat, how have you guys been? Have you guys at least been better than I am, hopefully? Hopefully, at least. Potentially. I'm hoping so. Because if any of you guys have gone through... Was your cup Snoopy? It is. It's like the closest thing to a Stanley I've ever purchased, but it's got Snoopies. It's got a little bow on it. It's like, it's covered in Snoopies. It was so cute I couldn't like not get it. You know what I mean? So. All right. Twitch is going to be back in 6, 5, 4. You had a kidney stone 2 weeks ago. I'm so sorry, game. Oh God, Chris too? No. Chat. Okay, maybe you guys... Okay. I'm so sorry, chat. I'm so sorry. Well, Chris, for what it's worth, I had to do the same thing with my cat, which also ties into the story. Alrighty, chat. Now that Twitch is back, I stalled for you guys, Twitch chat. Alrighty. Here we go. Story time starting now. Rev your engines, chat. Okay. It has been just insanity, right? Dan with the 63 months. Thank you, gamer. It's been a week. Few weeks. So, basically, all of it started, like, right before my extended family came into town. They needed to come down because we needed to, like, just, like, spend family time together, get some family stuff accomplished, if you will. Right before that, unfortunately, just as a public service announcement, in case anyone ever asks or anything like that, those of you guys who know Lola, our cute little elderly grandmother, she did pass right before my family came. So unfortunately, Lola's in the great beyond. But she was 17 years old. So she lived the longest life of any cat I have ever known in the history of my lifetime. So, for anyone who ever is like, we don't see her anymore, that is your update on her. We're all good. We had time to prepare. Like, I am about as good mentally as I guess one can be with that situation. But as a little nifty fact for you guys, so that happened right before my family came into town. So I have family that I hadn't seen since, like, I don't know, probably 7 years-ish, like my extended family. They came down. Literally, I kid you not. They get here on, I think it was a Friday, if I'm not mistaken. Not last Friday, but the one before that. They get here then, and, you know, we're vibing, we're having a good time, we're, like, catching up. They drop off their belongings upstairs, and, you know, we're just having family bonding time, if you will, and catching up over the years. I look down at my phone, and as you guys may have seen, I get a nifty text message from Ben, Vandy's roommate. And I'm like, that's weird. Ben doesn't normally text me. What's up with Ben? And I look down to see a message that says, hey, I know you have family in town, so you probably didn't see this, but Vandy's been sent to the emergency room because he had an allergic reaction. And so I'm currently in with him in the hospital. He's stable right now, but, just so you're aware, we did have to give him the EpiPen, and we're currently at the hospital. And I was like, oh, right now? Like right now that's happening? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, oh, do you want me to come there? Because, like, let me tell you, I'm not losing 2 in 1 week. I can't do this. And so he was like, nah, we got it. I don't know the rules of the hospital. I don't know if they'll let you back. I don't know anything like that. So he was like, I'm just going to keep you posted, but I figured you would want to know. And I was like, you're right. Smile. Sure. Keep me updated. Obviously, if you guys are part of the Vandy community, you know he's fine now. All of that happened. But it was just more so like the timing of everything. I was like, oh my God, 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 oh my God. You know what I'm saying? So he ended up being okay. I offered to go over there like 8 million times, and they were like, you are all good. Just let him sleep. You're all good. And I was like, okay, but I feel like I need to do more, you know? So we, like, spent all week, like, getting him groceries and, like, trying to help as much as we could because, like, he didn't have the, like, physical capacity to leave the house with, like, his energy levels and stuff like that. So helped him recover. He finally gets to the place where he's, like, in a good spot and everything like that. And you guys may recognize Happy Go Hannah, who's a wonderful member of the community. It's like Hannah and Tristan, the dynamic duo. You may have seen them. But Hannah messages me because she lives in the Georgia area as well. And I never get to see Hannah. Also, 𝗂𝗏, thank you so much, gamer. I appreciate you. I can't see any messages people are attaching with their member renewals right now, but I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you so much for the 35 months. So Hannah messages me and is like, hey, let's hang out. We haven't hung out in a long time, and I think that would be good. And I was like, yeah, smile. So we go to hang out. We have a lovely Dairy Queen trip. They were doing like 18-cent blizzards at the time, which was kind of sick. So we both got our happy little blizzards and our pretzel sticks, and we sat down and we just caught up on life for like 3.5 hours. And I get in my lovely little car, I get in my lovely little car after we finish up, if you will. And those of you who may know, this car I had purchased after a gate, like a HOA gate, crushed my last car into smithereens to the point where the hood of my car went through my windshield. So it totaled my little Camry that I had since I was in high school, and I traded it in for a new car in September. So because of the fact that I don't have to drive very far for my IRL job, and the 2 other jobs that I work with, Carthu and this one, are remote, I don't drive very often, chat. So keep in mind, I saw the hydrate. So keep in mind, I purchased this car in September. It is now April, chat. If this tells you how little I drive, I have put less than 5,000 miles on that car since I purchased it in September. Now, I get in my car and I notice the check engine light is on. And I'm like, huh, that's really weird. I don't know why the check engine light would be on. It drove fine. That's really strange. It drove fine on the way here. But I had the check engine light come on in December. November, December-ish of last year, and after I bought the car, I had to replace the sparks plugs. And so I had already put $800 into the engine of the car when the check engine light came on in November, December-ish. But I was like, listen, the car's about to hit 100,000 miles. I had to purchase it with higher mileage. So, it makes sense that probably some stuff are going out, if you will. So I drive it back, and of course it happened on a weekend, so a lot of mechanics aren't open and stuff like that. So I was like, at the very least, I'll drive it to O'Reilly's because, they do the thing where they check your engine light for free, and that way you at least know what's wrong with your engine. So I do that, and the elderly little guy at the counter goes, "Ma'am, you need to get your sparks plugs replaced." And I said, "That's crazy. I just replaced my sparks plugs in November. And I have barely driven this car since then, so that doesn't make a lot of sense." And he was like, "Well, you can replace them here yourself, and I can tell you how to do it." And I was like, "Why don't you hand me the nifty little paper that says what's wrong with it, and I'm just gonna wait, and I'm gonna bring that nifty little paper to the people who fixed my car the first time, and I'm gonna mark my little booty in there, and I'm gonna say, 'Hi, Smile.' So I replaced my sparks plugs in November of last year, and guess what? They're broken again. That's crazy. You should fix it for free because they're under warranty." So that's what I do. So I wait till Monday, one of my only days off, because keep in mind, chat, in the background of all of this, I'm in the process of transferring to a new location for my job for a potential, better opportunity, things like that. So keep in mind, my work life in the background is an absolute tornado. So I have very few days off right now. And the time that I do get off, it's been filled with this nonsense. So I'm working the most hours I have in a long time on top of this as well. So mark my little booty in there, and I say, "Hey, you should fix this." So they take a look at it, they have the paperwork, and I'm sitting in the waiting room. And it starts to be the occurrence of, you watch one person come in, they go out before you. You watch another person come in, they get out before you. It starts to happen over and over and over again, to the point where we're at 5 families that have come in and out before me. And I'm like, that's not good. That is not good. So the lovely little mechanic that always helps me with my car, this lad, always, whenever there's an issue with the car, he walks into the waiting room and he's like, "Hey, so this is what's going on with your car," in front of everyone. He's like, "Do you want us to do this or do you want us to not do this?" And then you give him the go ahead from there. For the first time in the history of me owning that car, chat, he says, "Hey, we looked at your car. Why did you come back here and we can talk about it?" And he brought me to a different room of the mechanic, and I knew I was cooked, chat. I knew I was toast just from the fact that he did that alone. So he starts explaining the situation to me, and this is basically what he tells me, chat. For any of you guys who aren't car people, I'm gonna make this make sense in your brain. So And for those of you guys who do know car stuff, keep in mind, this is like 2 weeks detached. I'm doing my best. I might say the wrong part, but the general function is what we're looking for. If I get a little minor thing wrong, you don't need to actually me. I know I'm probably speaking out of my ass to the best of my ability. So, all right, chat. We're gonna learn how car go vroom today, okay? So, what makes car go vroom, chat? Fuel, gas. That's why you put it in your car, right? So, what makes car go vroom with gas? Fire. So you have your ignition that makes the gas go vroom, okay? So, what happens here is you also have this lovely little part of your car that's called your coolant. Your coolant is basically like water. Water on fire puts out fire. You might be able to guess where this is going, right? So, he said basically, to make this make sense to you, right? You have your fuel and your fuel injectors, right? Those go into like a cylinder or something like that, and it deposits it onto a spark plug. And you can guess what the spark plug does, chat. It creates the spark that creates the ignition that makes it go vroom. What's happening to me is coolant is leaking all over my car. So coolant is getting on the spark plugs, which means water, fire don't work. So in order to make car go vroom, car pulling more fuel to try to compensate for the water. Does that like kind of make sense? So it's like, oh, there's water on it. We need more fuel for the fire to work. So I'm going through gas like this to basically try to make my car run, right? And so he's telling me that not only is it like a sparks plugs issue because there's coolant on my sparks plugs, right? But there is now coolant all over in the inside of my engine. And I said, okay. And then he said a whole bunch of other technical car stuff. That was over my head. That is the most of what I remember of this current situation. And I said, oh, okay. And so he looks at me and he goes, so, given everything that I've told you, what would have to happen in order for your car to be in a safe running condition is you have to replace the entire engine. And I said, oh, what do you mean by that? That's kind of crazy. I'm turning on lo-fi. We need lo-fi for this. And I said, how much does that cost? And he said, well, it's gonna say, like, but you basically have two options, right? You can either get a used engine for your car, but here's the fun little thing. I'm gonna keep it a buck, chat. I don't own the car anymore. It doesn't matter. I had a 2018 Ford Escape. That's what I had. He said, so basically, we have come under the knowledge and understanding, if you will, that Ford is aware that this is an issue with your car. So they sent out a lovely little bulletin to all of the mechanics that says, hey, if a nifty little Ford Escape, especially a 2018, comes into your shop and it has coolant all over the spark plugs and inside of the engine, it's because of this issue that's really common with Escapes, and we're aware of it, but we're not gonna recall it. So this is what you need to tell them to do, and this is the official bulletin to follow. Yippee! So he says, I can either get a used engine, but go under the understanding that because it's a pre-existing issue with my car, that I'm probably not gonna be able to really, have it last for very long because of the fact that it's a pre-existing issue. So it's basically like putting on a band-aid and hoping that it just ends up fixing itself, but know that that's probably gonna still happen again. He said that'll save you about $2,000-ish, or you get a new engine, and once again, you just hope that it's gonna solve the problem. But in order for you to get a new engine, it costs $10,000. Keep in mind, chat, I purchased the car for $14,000. So I said, oh, I don't have that. I said, I don't have that in my checking. I don't have that in my savings. I don't have that. And even if I were to get the used one, that's the more affordable option. That's easily the worst thing I could do. I don't even have that money in either my checking or my savings. I'm a broke bitch, chat. Like, that's not real. That's not possible. So I have a panic attack and I call my mom like any girl does. And I'm like, hey, Mom. So you'll never guess. You know how my car was having issues? Yeah, it's the spark plugs again, but it's more than that. And I just am like, listen, you just want to explain it to her? I hand him the phone, and my mom about has a panic attack. So she's like, we're going to have to table this. I have a meeting. We'll figure this out. And I said, okay. And so the guy's like, so what do you want to do? And I was like, well, I can't afford that today. Like, that's not happening today. And so he was like, all right, so he's like, do you want to just take it back with you? And I was like, is that safe? Can I drive it? And he's like, well, did you have issues driving it here? And I said, well, no, but I just want to be sure that it's safe to drive on. I kid you not, chat. He looks me dead in my eyes and says, if you didn't have any issues driving it here, yeah, just drive it back. So me, looking at Mr. Mechanic Man, who has fixed all the issues with my car, I'm like, okay, you said it's safe, Smile. So I start driving it back, and guess what, chat? The whole thing starts violently shaking. Aggressively. The whole time I'm driving it. So I'm like, ooh, we're gonna take the back roads. Because at that point, by the time it started shaking, it was way too late for me to turn around, and I was not gonna leave myself stranded in a random parking lot being like just a girl, you know what I'm saying? So I, by the skin of my teeth, make it home. And I'm like, all right, so this is awful, right? So I talk to my mom, we go back and forth. It's like, do we fix the engine or do we go through the route of trying to get the car, like, trade it in for a different car, see if the dealership that we got it from will work with us, etc. So I go ahead and I call the dealership, which I did not realize sent me to like the customer service portal that is not attached to the actual like location of the dealership, right? And so I talked with this lovely, very kind lady who was like, that's so awful. You purchased the car in September and you didn't even put 5,000 miles on it and you need a whole new engine? That's crazy. That's insane. Yeah, so what we're gonna do, if this is an option that's interesting to you, is we're just gonna allow you to trade in your car at the value it's appraised for whenever you do an appraisal for it, and you can use that money to put it towards like the next car you want to use on the lot. And I was like, okay, Smile, that sounds great. So she sends me a link to do like an online appraisal where it gives you like an instant offer, and she said, okay, so basically look at cars that you like. This is your offer. I ended up getting, keep in mind, I purchased it for $14,000, chat. My instant offer for it was $5,500. So if you guys are doing the math, right, and considering the fact that I'm not made of money, right, I had to finance the rest of the car. So I look at the amount that I'm given and I'm like, this isn't even going to pay off my loan. Like, this is not good. Like, I'm going to have like negative equity transfer over. This is bad. So, trying to figure out what the hell to do with that, right? So, I finally end up finding a car that I like, and I'm like, listen, I'm just gonna have to put down a large amount of my savings account as a deposit, and then I'm just gonna have to work with the numbers and figure out what my payment's gonna be with, like, all this kind of stuff. There's a lot that goes into it, right? Because I couldn't accurately gauge what my car payment was gonna be because I didn't know how the negative equity was gonna roll over and all that kind of stuff. So I end up finding a car that I like at a different location than, we're gonna say, the bad dealership. The car who sold me the Ford Escape, I will refer to them this entire story as the bad dealership. Okay? So I find a car that I like at a different dealership. We go there. This dealership is the good dealership, and that's how I'm gonna refer to them. So I'm at good dealership, And I end up getting my car towed, because keep in mind, I couldn't drive my car to said location. And the other important part of this story is I had to call the bad location. I had 2 singular hours before I had to go to work that day. So I call the bad store and I'm like, hey, Smile. So I had worked out a deal with I've talked to almost every single person in your department of this store, where basically you guys sold me a bad car. I was going to be able to use my trade-in value, trade it in for a new car. The new car that I ended up finding that I like is at a different location. I just want to be sure that I don't have to go through this process at your location because you sold me the bad car. So I just want to be sure that I am able to take my car to a different location and still do this deal, and that all of my ducks are in a row and there is nothing you need me to do at your location, because I am only towing this car once, right? And after talking to 6 different employees, I talked to the sales manager, I talked to the assistant service manager, I talked to the business manager, I talked to 2 different call center people. I went through the rounds at this location. And all of them basically were like, well, I can't answer your question. Let me send you to this guy. I finally get in contact with the assistant service manager, who's like, well, you're talking about a buyback and we're not going to do that with your car. And I was like, but it's not a buyback. I was told, and there's information on my account file from the amount of negotiations that we've had that says that it's a trade-in. So you're just going to allow me to trade in the car, what it's appraised for another car. And he was like, oh, well then, yeah, you can do that at whatever location you want to. And this is how he's talking to me this entire time, this exact tone. And I'm like, okay, I just want to be sure that I can take it to this other location. And he's like, yeah, and you could just tell that he's angry, annoyed, and does not want to speak to me. And so he's giving very short answers and just wants to be off the phone with me. So I'm like, okay, fine. You said I could do it, therefore I'm going to do it. So I would love to get everything on paper, Gabby. The issue is they don't want to fucking deal with me, so they're avoiding me and they're not doing anything. So if I were to request to get it on paper, they just wouldn't send it to me. That's the position that we're at. So it's either I go in there in person and I get nothing accomplished and they don't want to deal with me and I'm in an awful situation, or I go to a better store and they just don't send me paper trails of anything that's happening. So I get my car towed to the new location, the goods store, and I find a car that I like, I make an appointment, all this kind of stuff. My mom and I show up with Vandy, and the service manager at this new location was the one I spoke to, because I'm like, hey, just so you know, I'm towing a car to your location. I'm potentially going to trade it in for one of the cars on your lot that I really like. The issue is, it's not able to run. And so I just wanted to let you know that I'm not trying to actually service the car. I'm just trying to get it traded in. And he's like, okay, we'll see you when you get here. So he's waiting for me when we pull up, along with one of the salespeople on the floor who's assigned to work with me. So they pull me over and we start having a conversation. He goes, so I see the situation. We've heard that you were coming. We are aware that all of this is going down, because we were also reached out to by the bad store, not only by you letting us know you're coming, but by them letting us know you're coming. And I'm like, oh, good. And so he said, so I saw that you were given an instant offer of $5,500. And I said, yep. And he said, well, we're going to have to negotiate with the bad store, because right now, basically how it works is if you have a check engine light on your car, the instant offer isn't supposed to give you an offer at all. It's supposed to say that it has to be appraised in person, that it's unable to do that. So I don't know how you got an instant offer, but basically the place that you got your car from is not wanting to honor the price that you were given. And they want to give you an amount that is so low, I don't even want to tell you what it is for your car because it will make you ill. And I said, oh. And he's like, yeah, so we're going to work on this. because I'm gonna have to do a lot of negotiation on your behalf. And usually we don't do this. Usually this would have to be handled at the location that you purchased your car at, because this isn't our responsibility and we didn't sell you the car. And I said, that's really interesting. You want to know what I spent 2.5 hours doing before I even got here today, and talking to 6 different employees at that store, including insert all of the titles here, was verifying that I could actually do this here, and they gave me the green light to do this here. And they were like, listen, I'm not even surprised. Sick. So he's like, listen, this is a really shitty situation for you, and I'm going to negotiate on your behalf. The downside is you're not going to get in a car today. The good news is I'm at least going to fight to the best of my ability for you, and we're going to hope that we can at least get something going for you. And so the sales lady was at least like, let's just look at cars that are in your rough range and see if we can at least find a list, so then that way when we get the answers from the bad location and this location, we can at least know what direction we want to head in, so we can get you in a better car fast. So keep in mind, this appointment was the day before Atlanta Regionals, chat. So I was about to go out of town, and I was like, listen, I just want to have a car before I leave. That was not going to happen. So we come to find out that the car that I was wanting to test drive that day anyways was in 5 different accidents. 5. I don't know how one car, keep in mind, it was a 2021. I don't know how a 2021 has able to be in 5 accidents in that amount of time. But, I was like, I don't even think I want that car anyways anymore if it's been in 5 accidents. So, TLDR, we come up with a list of stuff, and the service manager at the goods store is like, listen, we got a list. I'm going to contact you. I know you're going out of town, but we'll at least try to keep you up to date as much as we can given the situation. And I'm like, okay, sick, great. We leave. Vandy and I just check into the hotel for the Atlanta Regionals, and I get a call from the service manager. And I'm like, oh, answers, bless. And I answer, and he goes, hey, Smile. So I basically argued with every single person in every single department of the bad store, including the people who buy the cars. Like the buyers of the cars. You know what I'm saying? Like the people who choose what cars go on the lot. And at a bare minimum, we were going to give you what you were quoted for the 5,500. So that much was at least a guarantee for you. I was just trying to see if I could do more than that, because, you know, the negative equity, all that kind of stuff that I explained. He said, after extensively arguing with them, I was able to get you $11,000 for your car. He basically said that he convinced them to double my appraisal value to not only pay off my negative equity, but at least give me some amount of down payment to put towards the new car. And I was like, oh my God, I could cry. That's insane. Because he was like, yeah, the bad location. He's like, I'm still not going to tell you that number because you don't want to know what it was of what they wanted to give you. So I'm very glad you came to us. And I'm like, I'm glad I came to you too. So he basically was like, look around, like check across all the like different locations, see if there's a car that you like. If you find a car that you like, we'll get it transferred to our store. So then that way, like, you can test drive a car as soon as you're back, right? He basically just said that my offer was only good until yesterday. So I had until then to come in and get a car. So keep in mind, chat, I got this call Friday, like last Friday. So I was out of town Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I worked yesterday, and I had a mid. I worked Monday. I had a mid yesterday. So I did not have a break. I had no time to come in. So I found one singular car that I liked with a unreliable backup. And I had to put all of my faith, trust, and pixie dust into basically this one car. So I made an appointment. I got off work at 5, chat. I made an appointment for 5:30 yesterday, and we waddled our way in there. Go to test drive this car. This car I'm not going to give information on because of, again, like, privacy. I don't want people knowing what car I drive. But just know that I have done my research. I have spoken to many people. This is one of the most reliable cars that you can get yourself into. So I am not getting myself into another Ford Escape. Keep in mind, chat, we'll get to this part later. I'm going to table that one. So, oh my God, there's just so many layers to the story that I forget and then they all come back to me. So, I look at this car, love it. There's some like minor cosmetic stuff that I have to see if I can take it to the dealership and see if they're able to like buff out or fix. I can't say specifics on what it is because then it would give away what car I like looked at. But aside from like some very minor cosmetic stuff and one like recall that I just have to take it to the dealership, it's like a really easy fix. I just have to take it to the dealership so then that way they can fix a recall that happened really recently on it. Phenomenal. Love the car. So I'm test driving it though. It test drove very similarly to a car that I used to drive and I was like, oh my God, it feels like home. That's so nice. So love the way it drove, love everything. We make it like a few feet outside of the like parking lot of the dealership for the test drive. And the salesperson who's in the back goes, do you hear that? And I didn't hear anything. My mom didn't hear anything. So she goes, can you just like pull over here? I just want to look at something real quick. So we pull over and they like look at the wheels and everything like that. And they're like, I just feel like I hear something. And we're like, I don't know. And so we drive a little bit more. Hi, Logan. I can't see the messages right now, but thank you so much for the 39 months, gamer. I appreciate you immensely. Welcome to story time. So we drive it a little bit more, and then I start to hear it. It sounds like a flapping sound. So like while you're driving, it sounds like flap, 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 flap. And it just sounds like it's plastic. And I'm like, that's just really weird. Because other than that, I loved the car, right? And so keep in mind, I made it like a mile even outside of the dealership. And she's like, do you want to keep test driving this? Or do you want to bring it back? And I was like, honestly, I don't know what the flapping noise is, but I don't want to make it worse. So why don't we turn around? I like the way that this car drives, and I like everything I've seen so far. Why don't we have the service people look at it? They can kind of like evaluate the situation and whether it's safe to continue test driving. And I'll just look at another car while that's happening. Because I was like, at least I'll look at my backup during that time, right? So they had the service people look at it. Because keep in mind, chat, I had to buy a car that day. So I look at the backup car and it was fine, right? Like that's kind of how I felt like I was gonna feel about it when I like had it on my list, is it was just gonna be like, it's a car. Yeah, you know? So that was exactly the vibe that me and my mom both got from the car. So we were like, well, it just doesn't compare at all to the one that we actually like. It's just like they blow each other out of the water. So we get back and she's like, so what do you think of the other car, right? And I was like, it's a car. Sure is. And she was like, so do you like that one? And I was like, I sure do. And she goes, okay, well, so we figured out what was wrong with it. It was a nail in the tire, but she's like, but it was like a big one, like a honker, if you will. So the tip was small, but the base of it was really like aggressive, like rah, kind of a thing. And so she goes, obviously, you don't really want to drive it if it's got that, because you could have a flat and then we're stranded on a test drive and that's not really ideal. And she's like, so given that, what do you want to do? You know? And I was like, listen, I liked everything else about the car. I'm willing to take it to the dealership and get the recall. I almost said what it was. The recall out of the way, because they have to fix it for free and it's super easy for them to do it anyways. It's like a super quick fix. And And like the minor cosmetic stuff, like I don't care about, for the fact that this car has like literally everything I would want to a T on my list. So if they're able to repair the tire, I'm good. And as long as I don't have to pay for the tire, let's just call a spade a spade. You did a great deal for me. You guys compromised for me. I'll compromise waiting for the car in order to have the tire be fixed. Deal? And they said deal. And we said, yay. So, keep in mind, I still lost a lot of money by having to pay for this car. We lost a casual $5,000 in this entire process, chat, in order to get a car that was not about to do what the last car did on the lot. So, just girly things. But, so the downside was, right, that the car didn't have like, so you know how when you go to lock your car, you push the button? So the key that I had for that car, the person who traded it in, didn't have a key that had the button on it, which was very strange. So they said that they had a key guy coming in order to give me a key that had the buttons to do the things on it. So they had to wait for key guy to come. Sorry, I had the hiccups. And they were like, listen, and then we'll figure out the car thing. They're either going to patch the tire or they'll replace the tires altogether, depending on how bad it is when they are able to look at it, etc. We'll give you a call and then we'll just kind of go from there. And I was like, okay, Smile. I have a day off tomorrow, which is today. But on Friday, tomorrow, I work a double. And I will be at work for the entirety of your open to close hours. So I will not be able to pick it up until Friday. Or whatever the days end up being. I need to hydrate. So, I was like, listen, if I could get it on my day off, that would be great. Obviously, I understand things are out of your control. Otherwise, I'm not going to be able to get it till way later. And with me working as much as I am, because keep in mind, chat, it's a tornado at work. Again, I'm working doubles. Tomorrow, chat, I have an 11-hour shift. And then I have a day off, and then I do an 11-hour shift again. With one meal break at 15 minutes. Keep in mind. So, I was like, listen, I would like to get that car today. So, I wake up today, they basically just said they were going to keep me posted on everything. I get a nifty little text message that basically says, hey, we're working on your car today. I'll give you an update as soon as I have more information from the service department. However, we're really, really busy today, and given how busy we are, I don't know if they're going to be able to get to it today. And I was like, sick. Love that. Okay, well, keep me posted. Couple more hours come by and I get another text that says, so given the position and the trajectory basically of the nail that was in your tire, we're gonna replace the entire tire, and because we have to replace one tire for all my car people, we gotta replace the entire axle. So then the other tire has to get replaced, so that way you have good alignment. So they said tire's not gonna be there till Friday. So sorry. And I was like, oh, good. No car. It's been like 2 weeks. So, obviously I'm stressed because Vandy's had to give me rides for like the last 2 weeks, chat. And I feel bad. I feel so bad being like, hey, can you take me to work? Hey, can you pick me up from work? Hey, can we? And again, I'm just so over it at this point. I just want everything to be done. I cannot deal with this anymore, right? So, thankfully, they end up calling me today as I'm literally at the store getting my meal prep stuff for tomorrow, so I can at least have something on the standby that I can eat for my 15-minute break I'm gonna get tomorrow. Where they're like, hey, so because it's gonna take so long for us to get the tires in and all that kind of stuff, we're gonna give you a loaner car. So why don't you just like stop by in before we close? Keep in mind, that's where I was tonight, chat. just come in before close. You can just give us all of your like insurance information and your license, and we'll have a rental car ready for you to go, because that's covered under like your warranty with us. So then that way you at least are able to get from point A to point B the way that you need to be able to do, because this has been an awful situation for you. And I'm like, yippee! And I was like, the dealership's not that far. I can do it, and I can be back in time for stream. What a wonderful situation. And so I get 3 separate calls from them that basically is like, hey, so just to confirm, you did want to do a loaner car today? And I was like, yes, as long as it's free. And they said, yes. So I said, okay. And they said, employee XYZ is going to call you here in a couple minutes, and we're going to get you into a rental thing, and you can send her all the information. I said, okay. So employee XYZ calls me, and I sent her all of my information. They said, okay, we'll have the car ready for you as soon as you pull up. And I said, great, that's so nice and convenient, Smile. That way I can be ready in time for stream. We get to the dealership. Nothing is done. So I had to wait there. And then the lady who was helping me was like, so did you send in your driver's license and your insurance stuff? And I said, yeah. And she said, oh, so the person just never did anything with it. And I was like, oh, sick. And I said, so it's not like ready like they said it was gonna be? And they said, nope. So you can sit in the waiting area. I'm really sorry. We'll get it sorted for you. Keep in mind, chat, this was at like 7, I think it was. They did not get me the rental car until 7:45. So I got it, and I have a rental car now. I hate the rental car. I will say, that's just like a minor thing. I'm really glad I didn't test drive the rental car that they gave me, because I did debate test driving the rental car that they gave me. I'm so glad I didn't. It's just awkward. Like, you're so much taller than the wheel is, and there's not a way to adjust it. So you're like driving with your hands down here, and it's like really hard to get out of. Like, when I tried to get out of the car in order to get into my house, like, I kept like knocking into the steering wheel because I can't get my legs out from underneath it because the steering wheel's so low. I digress. That's just me being picky. It's also really complicated to tell how fast you're going because there's no digital odometer. They just have like the circle version of it, which is fine. That's what my old car used to have, but they don't have all of the numbers on there. So like if the speed limit's 45, you can't tell what 50 is. They didn't label 50. It just goes 40, 60, and then there's just like a rough gauge in between, and you just have to guess. Isn't that kind of crazy? I'd be like, sorry, officer, I didn't know I was speeding because it doesn't tell me how fast I'm going. I'm just kind of guessing what 45 is at this point, you know? So, really glad I didn't test drive that car because it's fucking weird. Anyways, and I kept like messing with the menu buttons to see if I could like get it to do that. And the only way to tell what speed you're going is if you hit cruise control. Really weird, right? Like that's just like, that's not normal. So you would think the story ends there. I still don't have my car. I'm still waiting. We're gonna get a tire issue thing. Did you go to the Pokemon Regional in Georgia? I did. I was there with Vandy and everyone. I'm sorry you didn't say hi. I do get being really nervous though, and like having the guts to like walk up to a creator. But yeah, Vandy and I were there. That's really cool though. I hope you, if you competed, that it went well for you. But yes, that was me. That was me. But you would think the story ends there. You would think. It doesn't end there, chat. So keep in mind, part of the reason I wanted my car so bad, like the Ford Escape when I bought it, what I have come to find out is that the drivers love Ford Escapes because they're loaded, chat. Like that 2018, my car payment was $125, chat. You want to know what I got for $125 a month? I had Apple CarPlay, I had heated seats, I had like the navigation system. Like it was so decked out. It had literally everything I would ever want in a car. It was a really sick color too. It was awesome. And for $125 a month, I was like, call it done. But on the mechanic side of it, they're awful. And so the service manager of the new car was, or the good dealership, right? The one that we like, the one that got me $11,000 for my car. when we were explaining the situation to him, he said, and I quote, "I would not put my worst enemy in a Ford Escape. 70 out of 100 issues I see with cars, I see with Ford Escapes. Ford Escapes are the most returned car on our lot other than like XYZ, XYZ. And I said, oh, that's really interesting. My mom turns green in the face. And she goes, I have one. And he goes, oh. And he said, what year do you have? And she's like, I'm not going to tell you what year it is. But it was a different year than what mine was. And she only got hers because I liked mine so much. Right? And even then, it was the same situation. She test drove a lot of cars, just like how I did. And for the payment that she was going to get and the features that that car had and how nice it was. Also, it just drives really well. It just blew every other car that she test drove out of the lot. You know what I mean? Like, I test drove like probably 7 to 10 different cars. Ford Escape, like, easily the best. And everyone who was with me also agreed that the Ford Escape was the best. Same thing. She test drove however many cars. Ford Escape blew everything out of the water, and everyone agreed. Like, it was a unanimous decision amongst all people. I now know that that's not a good thing. So my mom, now that I have my car figured out, at least on paper, I at least have the documentation that says, I own car. Yippee! I just don't have the actual keys nor the car in my possession, right? She is now trying to trade in her car, but keep in mind, chat, she's now in the same position I am. At least she doesn't have a check engine light on her car like I did, so she at least is getting a lot of value for her car in comparison to what I did. Her appraisal's like $1,000 less than what she paid for it, so like in the grand scheme of things, like really good. She bought it in December, chat. It's April. Her negative equity on that thing? So she's now in the same position I was of, what do you do with the money? Because you don't really have a down payment unless she takes more money that she already put down on the first car out of savings to attempt to have a down payment for another car. You see what I'm saying? So now she's in the same position. And you're like, you know what? That's a really shitty situation. I hate that. You ready for the cherry on top, chat? Part of the reason that I liked my car as much as I did, chat, and like another big advocate for me to get my car in the first place was Vandy's mother. Sweet Leslie, we love her. What if I told you she had the exact same year, make, and model as my car, just a different color? You know where this is going, chat. What if I told you 48 hours after my engine blew, his mom's blew. His mom had the exact same issue that my car did. And she now is also in the same boat of, does she get a new engine? Or does she trade in her car at what minimal value she has for the car to go towards another car? Xeon, I won't say, but we had the service manager look at the car and he said that it's probably going to follow the same path. So she's just on a ticking time bomb. She can try to keep the car for as long as humanly possible to try to get the payments down. So then that way it the trade-in value would cover more of like what's remaining of the loan, because the loan would be less at that point. The downside is it's just a ticking time bomb. So the check engine light could come on at any time. And as soon as that engine light comes on, you're cooked. You're cooked. So, his mom's now dealing with the same thing. And that's really super fun and different. So we had a dynamic duo or trio, chat. I named mine Bubbles. His mom's car's name is Blanche. And my mom named hers Betty. We had Bubbles, Blanche, and Betty. And every single one of them are now, poof, they're all fucking cooked. So that happened. On top of the fact that just like work has been insane. Again, I've been working the most hours I have because of the fact that I transferred to a new location and all that kind of stuff. Oh, you drive trucks. Yeah, I'm sure trucks are probably better. I will never buy one again because of the amount of engine issues that I've seen between 3 different ones now. I also have another friend who 2 weeks after I bought my Ford Escape, bought the exact same make and model and year that I did, and even she said, hey, that's so crazy. It was the best out of everything I drove on the lot, and everyone agreed that it was the best decision for me. That's so crazy. So I've been messaging her, and I'm like, hey, so not to make you shit your pants, I've just had 3 of our cars explode, basically. Yeah, that was the fun thing as well, chat. Another mechanic looked at my car and basically told me I can't drive it over 25 miles an hour or the engine will, like, literally actually explode. So that was part of the reason I also had to get it towed to the new location. So that's super fun, right? Yeah. There's just been so much that's happened. I'm sure I'm gonna, like, remember stuff along the way, because I'm like, wow, this is gonna be one of the craziest stories I ever tell chat of, like, what's been happening to me these last 2 weeks, and they're gonna be like, you know, Lindsay, you haven't streamed in a while. That's really strange. And then they're gonna say, hey, I understand why you haven't streamed in a while. That's kind of crazy. There's something I would tell you guys, but I can't tell you guys what it is yet, because it's supposed to be a secret and I'm not supposed to talk about it. I think that's it in regards to the story. If I remember anything else, I'll let you guys know. But that's where I've been these last 2 weeks. Is it? Not only did my cat die, Vandy had to go to the hospital, my engine blew, Vandy's mom's engine blew, the back and forth, I got a car, but I still don't actually have the car. Me, myself, and I, chat. It's a time. Cat, 3 cars, and the hospital. Hi, Sammy. Sorry to hear about your car troubles and the cat. It's okay. She was 17. She was 17. So, like, she lived longer than any cat I have ever seen in my history of my life. I'm surprised you haven't gotten a lawyer on the company. Should you and your family cars? So it's hard right now. I know that, like, so here, there's a lot of layers to this. There's just so many layers. The issue number 1 is the fact that my family does not come from a lot of money. I put down over half of my savings account to even get the car that I have now, because it's such a reliable car. And I was like, listen, like, thankfully I didn't have to owe much in taxes this year. I was expecting to not have this money anyways. But for me to have the security that this car is going to last me forever, it's at least a sacrifice I'm willing to make, because I wasn't expecting to have this money anyways. You sent me class action stuff. Yeah, it's just like, I don't have the money for a lawyer is really the thing. And so I know that a lot of lawyers will do the thing where, like, they work for free until they win or something like that. It's just, I don't have the money for if we don't win is the thing. And I know that Ford is aware of it, because obviously they sent out, like, I think it's the Diagnostic Service Bulletin, I think is what it's called. It's like a DSB, something like that. Class actions, you don't pay at all. I just meant, like, in the actual, like, lawyer message part of it. Yeah, that's the downside. Like, my mom's a teacher. Yeah, the TSB. I just don't have a lot of money personally, and all the money I did have, I just had to put down on the car. So there's just not, like, excess sitting around right now. Because at this point in time, I'm like, let me just shrivel and die and eat ramen noodles for the rest of my life. And you know what? I think that sounds great. I was really brave today, chat, and I ordered hash brown. Not ordered, but when I was at the store getting my meal prep stuff for tomorrow for my 11-hour shift and my 15-minute break, I was like, all I want is hash browns. So I'm doing a little bit of self-care, chat, and my version of self-care at this very moment in time, given the budget I now have, is one singular bag of frozen hash browns that will be crispy by the time my stream is done, that I will properly salt and put ketchup on, and we will make them extra crispy. And that's my self-care for tonight, chat. My aunt got a new car and then her eyes fried? Her what? Her what? A what? I cheated on my diet a couple days ago when I had McDonald's. Honestly, I hope it's amazing. Gabby! Go get some other hash browns, buddy. Thank you, Gabby. You didn't have to do that. You didn't have to do that. I appreciate you. Thank you for the hash brown fund. Oh, chat. Oh my God. Okay. Sorry. I just had a whole other layer. Chat, the story's not done. I knew I was forgetting stuff. Oh my gosh. I just like thought of when I had to pay and I was like, that's really weird. Why did I use that other card when I went to pay for the hash browns? Chat, hold on. We're backing this truck up a little bit. All right. Are you guys ready for the craziest shit you've ever heard? So, whew, we're not done. I'm snoozing the ad. Okay. Chat. So, my brother's been giving me rides to work, right? Because of the fact that I didn't have the car, and at that point, I didn't have a loaner car either. So, my brother picks me up from work. It's like 11 o'clock at night, right? We get home, and there's a package on the counter for me, and I'm like, that's really weird. I didn't order a package, but it's made out to, like, my first and last name, and the, like, complete address, right? And it didn't say, like, Lynn's Vids, anything like that, and I was like, I don't remember ordering anything, but that's really weird. Maybe I ordered something, and I just forgot that I ordered something, and I was like, the only thing I have on the way are shorts, and, like, this package is way too small to be shorts, right? So, this was, like, 3 days ago. I opened the package and I'm like, what the hell is this? It's pill containers. And I'm like, not prescription, but just like screw top pill containers. And I'm like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? And I pull them out. Chat, you're not going to believe me when I tell you this. I pulled out 2 containers of male enhancement gummies. And I said, I just looked at my brother and I said, did you order these? And he said, he basically in layman's terms said, I'm a virgin in the first place, and no, I did not. And I was like, you're right. I figured as much. Just had to offer it on the table if they're yours. I don't care if they are. And he looked at the bottle, because keep in mind, my brother's a personal trainer and he used to be a manager at GNC. So man knows how to read vitamin labels like the back of his hands when it comes to nutrients. And he looked at these and he said, these are actually one of the worst pills or like gummies that you could ever put in your like body anyways. He's like, these are awful for you. And he's like, I wouldn't order these even if I did want them, because they're like, he's like, these are like disgraceful how bad they are ingredient wise. And I was like, all right. And so I go to the next possible solution, chat, and I make the craziest call of my life, and I call my boyfriend. And I said, hey, babe. Then he's like, hey, how's it going? And I was like, well, you're never gonna believe this, but I just gotta cover my bases. He's like, what do you mean? And I said, well, I just got home from work. As you can see, it's like 11 p.m. And there's a package on the counter that I didn't recognize, and I open it up, and there's gummies for male enhancement. By any stretch of the chance for like a meme or anything, did you order those to my house? And he's like, no, I surely did not. And he's like laughing his ass off. He thinks it's really funny. And I'm like, okay, I didn't think you did, but I just had to cover all my bases, you know? And I was like, I'm just trying not to be freaked out a little bit at the same time. Feminine relief patches started coming in a package to your place. Well, I'm going to tell you this next part of the story, and I'm going to see if this applies to you, and this might save your life a little bit, Sammy. So I then start panicking a little bit, right? Because I'm like, all right, so in what situation do male enhancement pills come to someone's house made out to my first and like my government name? And like, I go by Lynn so often that rarely ever do I see my actual government name on a package. That's also why I was like, what the f is this? You know? And so I'm like trying not to panic. I'm like, do I have oh, I ran the ad instead of snoozing it. I'm so sorry, Twitch. I'm so sorry. Oh no, chat, I just screwed Twitch. But I was like, do I have a stalker? Like, did some stalker figure out my address and start sending me like male enhancement pills? That's crazy. And so I start going through like the worst possible case scenarios in my head over and over and over again. And I'm like trying not to like be ill, because I'm like, listen, even if I do have a stalker, like there's so many layers that go into it, and it's so bad. And I was just like making myself ill at the thought. And Vandy's like, it's nothing. You don't got anything to worry about. You got a brother. You got me. Even if anything did happen, like, nobody's gonna want to mess with your brother because he's my brother's fucking jack, chat. Like, he works at the gym. Like, he's, like, insane. But he's like, you're so protected. He's giving me all these list of reasons as to, like, why I'm, like, so safe and so protected and all this stuff. And I'm like, right, but that doesn't make the tummy ache go away. I still feel like I'm gonna die and my life is over. You know what I mean? And so he's like, you're gonna be fine. And I was like, okay, smile. And I hang up the phone. And immediately I'm like, all right, well, that didn't help. Let's go to the girls group chat. So I go to the girls group chat, right? And I start messaging all the girls and I'm like, so ladies, if male enhancement gummies showed up at your doorstep, and you did not order these gummies, on a scale of 1 to 10, how afraid would you be? Twitch, I'm so sorry. I went to snooze the ad and I clicked run the ad. You didn't miss anything other than I basically said Vandy tried to talk me out of the fear. So I messaged the girls group chat and I was like, listen, on a scale of 1 to 10, how afraid would you guys be if male enhancement gummies showed up at your house and you didn't order them? And they're like, yeah, that's really concerning, actually. So Kylie, as in Vinny's wife, God bless her, found a lovely little thing, if you will. It is not Viagra. It is not. It literally says like male enhancement gummies. It's like big bold print on the bottom. She found a thread, and essentially what it is, chat, is it's an entire like list of people who have all been sent gummies by like the exact same manufacturer that I did, and they didn't order them. And I was like, okay, well, that's at least a little better, right? So we have come to the conclusion that basically what it is it comes from you ordering something off of like any like digital retailer like Abercrombie, or, you know, like pick your retailer here. I've never bought from Abercrombie's online website, so I'm not saying them for legal reasons. It did not apply to Abercrombie and Fitch. But some online retailer had their data be hacked. And because of that, my government first name and last name and like all of that was available. You know what's also available in that situation, chat? Sammy, this applies to you. Is my card information. And Kylie's like, I think you should check your statements. Jason, thank you for the 2069, gamer. That is very, very kind of you, gamer. I appreciate you. Thank you, thank you. I can't see if there's a message. I don't think there is. But I really appreciate you, gamer. Thank you for the hash brown fun. That's what I'm going to call it now. Thank you for the hash brown fun. And the 69 kind of goes crazy. Thank you, gamer. So, my card information also got hacked. And keep in mind, apparently this happened while my family was in town. And so because my entire extended family was in town, like there were situations where like I would like go grab dinner for everyone and then people would pay me back. And so like I was having large transactions come out of my account. So even though I was checking my bank account regularly, it wasn't a red flag that this amount of money was gone. Like it seemed normal, right? You want to know how much those gummies cost, chat? $120. $120 for male enhancement gummies. And conveniently, I found it out because it showed on my statement from like a company that I didn't recognize. And if you like click into your bank statement online, it drops down like more information about the transaction, right? So it gives you like a transaction code. It gives you the date, the time. It also said card number manually entered wholesale like information as well as a phone number. And I was like, interesting. So I Google the phone number that then takes me to their customer service portal that then takes me to the website. And conveniently on said website is just a plethora of male enhancement pills, basketball jerseys, basketball shorts, and just a hodgepodge conglomeration of just random items that are all for some reason priced at almost exactly $120, which is what was taken out of my account. So, on top of everything today, chat, I had to call my bank and say, hey, Smile, I'm here to report fraud because male enhancement gummies showed up at my house and I didn't pay for them. And let me tell you, that was the call of a lifetime with that bank associate. And she was like, I'm sorry. What? So then I had to explain all this information to her. But hopefully the bank didn't give you a hard time. I mean, I just had to answer like the legal questions. It was like, were you in possession of the card at the time? Is your card lost? Is your car stolen? Like, do you have like Apple Wallet? Do you have a digital attachment to the card? You know, like, did any of your family have authorization to use your bank account? You know, like, I just had to answer a lot of like the legality stuff. And I even told them that we found out it's like a known scam, I guess, that's happening to a bunch of people where like their information gets stolen and then they have the charges and all this kind of stuff. So, bada bing, bada boom. She got a kick out of it as much as she like in a business manner could. You know what I mean? Like, she still had to be professional, but she was like, oh, all right. On top of the fact, chat, that as well, just in another layer of, I'm gonna have to figure this out, and it's crazy that I'm gonna have to figure this out. I got health insurance earlier this year, right? And we were really big and proud of me, right? We were like, yeah, Lynn's health insurance, woo! And so when I talked to the, like, insurance guy who basically, like, set me up with the health insurance, he basically told me that how it works is I don't owe anything month to month. I pay it all at the end of the year, and it, like, comes out of, like, I pay it during tax season, essentially, is basically how it ends up working, because I make less than insert amount a year. And so basically he said, based on the amount of income that you make, you're roughly gonna owe this amount when it comes to tax season next year. And I said, okay, sounds good, Smile. He signed me up for it. Chat, I'm gonna get your guys' opinion on this. So let's say if I'm quoted to owe roughly $1,500, at the end of the tax, or like at tax season next year, isn't bad, right? Considering the fact that some people pay over $100 a month for insurance, like, not horrible, right? Would you be concerned, right, if you start getting like your invoices in the mail where it says like, hey, this is the amount that you owe, right? So I still don't owe anything per month, right? Which is good. However, let me find my lovely little screenshot here. It was before this. I had it. Where'd it go? It's right here. Okay. How concerned would you be if it tells you that you owe $0 a month? However, then right below, it says monthly premium, $362, followed by premium subsidy, $362. It says current amount owed, 0. But I had to email my tax guy today and say, hey, so, since we're early on in the year, I just want to get this clarified ahead of time because I was told by you that I was gonna owe like $1,500-ish, roughly, ballpark, by the end of the year or like at next tax season. Why am I getting invoices that are basically half of that amount per month? Because if that's the case, your girl can't do that. You know what I mean? Like, I just lost $5,000 to a car. Like, I can't, that's not real. Like, you can't just tell me a certain amount. It sounds like 362 is the credit. It just says monthly premium and premium subsidy. That's what it says. I just don't speak in those terms. And so me and my mom just wanted to be sure that, like, I'm not gonna have to owe $362 times 2 for 1 month. And then, you know what I mean? Like, have that stack across 12 months. And then next year have me be hit with like, hey, you owe $7,000. You know what I mean? So I had to get that sorted out today as well. So we're going to see what the lovely tax guy has to say about it. But it's just another layer at this point, right? You know what I'm saying, chat? Like, I'm just so exhausted. It's a benefit. Okay. Okay. Well, that's good. That's at least helps a little bit. Also, Kate, I did see your DM. I'm sorry I didn't get to see it. If you listen to the story time that happened earlier on stream, you'll understand very quickly why I haven't been able to. I just haven't been able to exist, chat. It's been very stressful, but I will say regionals was very fun. I'm a little sad I didn't compete after talking to 𝗔𝗎𝗄. For any of you guys who know him, he's a Pokemon creator. He's a dad. He's the greatest. I've been waiting 5 years to get a picture with him. We've been friends for like half a decade and we haven't been able to like hang out in person yet. So it was really cool meeting him. I love him. He's so great. But he was just telling me how the teams were going and stuff like that. And I was like, listen, I was like this close to bringing a 𝗓𝗋𝗄𝗄 team. And so I was telling him what my team was and everything like that. And he's like, honestly, your team could low-key sweep a lot of what's here right now. He's like, the amount of goofy teams that are doing really well, especially with what your team is, it plays really well into a lot of these comps. And I was like, well, sick, you know? So I don't know. We'll see if I compete next year if they do end up doing it in Atlanta again. I don't think I would actually like try hard VGC. But I think it would be really silly, especially if I go in there expecting nothing and then for some reason 𝗓𝗋𝗄𝗡 Malamar does really silly 𝗓𝗋𝗄𝗡 Malamar things, you know what I'm saying? But Vandy and I unironically are trying to make an actual competitive Unite team. So we are actually gonna try and compete in next year. Like, actually. I don't know how well that's gonna go, considering the fact of just everything, but we've played against a lot of like pro teams that you typically see in tournaments in like 5-stack ladder anyways, and it really doesn't go bad. Like, we either win or it's like at least a really close game if we do lose, unless we're playing like LG, but like nobody beats LG, so like that's fine, you know what I'm saying? But like, we've played Orange Juicers, we've played T3, and they all end up being like really close games, so we're like, if it's this close, I think we just compete. So we're gonna see. Next year, Pokemon's gonna be, it's gonna be cool. I'm very excited to see all of that happen at Worlds too, but. You know Vandy! Speaking of Vandy, chat, that's the guy I'm trying to make a Unite team with. That's so crazy. Jason, thank you so much, gamer, with the 2069. Did it happen again, or is that just a duplicate? Is that a duplicate? I don't know. Jason, did you donate twice? That's the same amount you donated before. Jason, confirm or deny? Confirm or deny? Dre the Virus, thank you so much for the follow, gamer. By the way, for any of you guys who don't know, hi, my name is Linz. I appreciate you guys so much for coming in. I just did a story time. I just hit my mic too and everything shook. But I just did an entire, you did 3 technically? Why did they get separated? That's so strange. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I don't know what's happening with the alerts. Maybe it's because you did 3 separate ones at the same amount at once. It has to like verify that they're legit. You know what I mean? And your card isn't like, hey, did you mean to do this? You know what I mean? But thank you so much for the hash brown fun. And that was like 10, 15 minutes ago. I saw the first one and I responded to the first one, but it only gave me the alert once and it only showed 1 donation. So I'm not sure what's happening. Maybe it's like a bank verification thing. But I really appreciate you. I hope all of them end up going through. If not, I'm sure one will probably get like refunded to your account. But thank you so much for the love, gamer. I greatly, greatly appreciate you. That's so kind of you. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you. But hello, gamers. My name is Linz, for those of you who don't know me. Hi, I'm Vandy's girlfriend. A lot of people just refer to me as that. But I just did a whole story time of my life, and it took me an hour to get through it, if that tells you how crazy the story was, chat. And just like the layers that have continued to happen. Oh, Vandy, are you still here, by the way? Are you mayhaps still here? Hi. I got a rental car. They called me while you were live, and they gave me a loaner card because they had to order me a new tire. And the new tire isn't going to be available until Friday, they said. So I have a loaner car, so you don't need to give me a ride no more tomorrow. Because I know you've been giving me a ride for like a week and a half. Yeah, I appreciate you, and I'll pay you for gas when I get paid again. I may have donated, but it didn't go through. Did it go through on PayPal? It did! Did it? Yeah, the donation link in the description is Stream Elements too. Maybe the alerts are just broken. Because yeah, if you donated through Stream Elements, it should have. But that's the one that's in the description. And I know I was having issues with like it linking to the old one on accident. But as long as you donated through Stream Elements, it should have gone. Chat, I think I've been gone for so long that the alerts just broke. The alerts just said, you know what? We're not doing it. I appreciate you so much though, Dan. Thank you, thank you. Genuinely so kind of you. I don't know what's going on right now with the alerts. I think it's a Stream Elements issue, not a me issue, which is why they're coming in so delayed. So maybe your stuff is still gonna go through and it's just coming in way late, kind of like Jason's did. I'm very confused, but I digress. Have a good night, Connor. Thank you so much for all the love. If you guys did do anything, I know alerts are like not wanting to work right now. But very kind of you guys to send in support and love. It means the world to me, given the absolute whirlwind that has been my life recently. I'm just a girl, chat. I am just a girl, so your love means more than you guys could ever know. So thank you guys for all of the love. Oh, it's broken? Chat? No. Vandy? No. No. Chat is doing more than enough by just being here. It was Stream Elements who goofed? That's crazy. How did you find it out that it was Stream Elements? That's kind of crazy. But in the meantime, chat, now that my lore... Ipper? With the 1, 2, 3, 4 that says testing, testing. That worked. That worked. Yay! Ipper! Things we love to see. Thank you so much for the 1, 2, 3, 4 gamer. Very kind of you. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I am so just confused at this point. I'm just here. But chat, we do have cards to open. So for all of you guys who just came in on the Vandy raid, we're gonna open some packs and we're gonna see more hash browns. Let's go! Self-care that I can now get more of because I have a rental car and I could just go to the store and get hash browns. I have craved hash browns for a week, chat, but I haven't been able to go to the store and get some because of the fact that I didn't have a car. I came this close to just, I kid you not, doing an Instacart order for nothing but hash browns. And I didn't have the pride to do that. I'm not gonna lie, nor the money really either, but like mainly the pride to have someone look at my order and see 6 different individual orders of hash browns to reach the minimum purchase order amount of like $35. That's a whole thing. But you pulled the #1 chase card from the 151 set. Which one is that one? But congratulations. I don't know what it is, but congratulations. Are you actually gonna keep that one or are you gonna sell that one? Which one is it? Of course it's a Charizard. He's big, stinky, and ugly. And they just keep giving him love. They're like, ah ha ha ha, again! You like Charizard so much, here's Charizard 2! And then they made Mega. And that's how that is. Alrighty. Had to make my desk stand smile. Alrighty. I am gonna use the bathroom real quick, chat, because I had to drink so much water in order to tell that story and not have my voice go out. So I'm gonna use the bathroom real quick. But we're gonna open some packs before we end stream here later tonight. Also, update. I had a series idea that I wanted to do, and I had it set up, and I had already pre-tested it, and it worked. I just needed to change one thing with it that made a big difference. And fun fact, chat, my randomizer broke today. So I had a stream idea that I was gonna do. I physically cannot execute it. So I'm gonna keep trying to execute it. But we'll probably just keep doing Shiny Lock or Imperium until I'm able to get it fixed. It was really cool and I was kind of excited to do it. So I'm gonna see if I can get it worked out. Zeon! Thank you for the 5 gifties! Vandy asked for it. Did that happen in time, or was that also delayed? Hopefully that wasn't also delayed, but that was literally just a situation of, because he told me to! That's so silly. That's so silly, Zeon. Thank you. You did just do it. Okay, thank God. I was like, let me just verify that happened when you wanted it to. But Lisa, Chills, Matthew, Ned, that's 4. One more needs to go out. I don't know. I digress. Either way, chat, I appreciate you so much. I really have to pee and I can't do this anymore. So I'm going to skedaddle to the bathroom and then we're going to open packs. It's going to be really cool and really neat. So if you guys need to pee, this is a great time for you guys to do one. Oh, Price got it. That's neat. It just doesn't show on my side. Congratulations, Price. I'm going to run to the bathroom now. Goodbye. Okay. We're so much better, chat. We're so back. We're so much better. Ace, Lisa, Chills, Matthew, and Ned. Okay, so Ace never showed up. That's really weird. Okay. As long as it worked on your guys' side, it just didn't show on mine. Which, you know what? The alerts aren't working for some people weirdly anyway, so I'm just gonna say, I don't even know anymore, you know? Okay. I'm understanding. Okay. Anyways, chat. We have some Temporal Forces packs to open up. Yippee! Where are my sleeves? They're right here. Oh, also, Gabby, are you still here by chance? Potentially. If not, that's fine. I just have lore that you probably don't care about, but I'm going to tell you about it anyways. Okay, I saw you pinged me, and I forgot to tell you, because my life and everything that happened, I got the jersey you tagged me in. They did, like, Evolution jerseys, chat? Is this not cute? I'm a little upset. It showed up the day I was at regionals. I was very mad I couldn't wear it there. But it's so cute. I love her. I love her so much, and I want to wear her to Worlds, so that is my goal. Or GoFest, either or. More than likely Worlds, but I'm very excited. Anyways, thank you for letting me know that was a thing, because I had no idea. Alrighty. Yippee! Here we go. Fire energy. Where do I set these? Hold on. Fire energy. Drillbur. Relor. Ponyta. Chatot. Iron Jugulus. Lycanroc. Salvatore. Reverse Hollow Fortress. Reverse Hollow Chatot. And Macargo. And Macargo. For those of you who do not know as well, we did open a few of these packs earlier. Like, it's obviously not a full booster box. These are ones we have already pulled in the booster box, just so you guys are aware. We pulled Ghastly. We pulled Wugtrio EX. We pulled Iron Leaves EX. The Neo Upper Energy. Scizor EX. This beautiful Snom card that I forgot I pulled, Loki. Litten, sorry. And Gouging Fire EX. So, those are the ones we have pulled so far already. We've gotten a solid amount of hits. To be honest with you, I don't know what all's left in this booster box, given the fact of how many hits we've gotten, but we are here to find out. Sleepy! 50?! Sleepy? That's so many. Oh. Oh my God. Oh my God. That's insane. It's still going. That's crazy. Sleepy, thank you so much for the 50 gifted over on YouTube. That's insane. It's like, it's still just, oh my God. Thank you for the love, gamer. That's so generous of you. Thank you, gamer. I was not expecting in the slightest that level of generosity. Chat, if we could, at the very bottom of my heart, hey Jason, I think your third one went. And there's Jason's third one! Let's go! That's so... Why did it do that? Anyway, I don't even know. Okay, first and foremost, if we could just get a wall of love, hearts, and hype, for all of the love between everyone. Yeah, Ariel, I don't know what happened. I'm still very confused, to be honest with you. Between Sleepy Monkey with the 50 gifted, Xeon with the 5, Ariel became a member for 54 months, Gabby gifted 20, and then allegedly Jason gifted 2069 3 different times. Like, that's so generous of you guys. Thank you, thank you. I was just planning on going live today and being like, all right, chat, I know I haven't been here in like 2 weeks, but you'll never guess why. It's because I've been just climbing myself out of this pit that freaking Ford Escape put me in. Anyways, kicks over my stool under my desk. But thank you so much, gamer. Genuinely from the bottom of my heart. Regardless of whether you've just been like hanging out here today so I'm not yapping into the void alone, or whether you've donated, like renewed your memberships, just vibing, using emotes in the chat, like it genuinely means the entire world, you know, like I wouldn't be anywhere here without you guys. So just know that all of you guys mean a lot to me, and I really miss streaming a lot, and I got really sentimental about it, and then I got really sad, and I was like, listen, I might be at the dealership trying to get this godforsaken rental car for who, like, God knows however long, but I will be going live tonight, whether it's late or whether it's not. Like, it had to happen, you know? So thank you so much, gamer, from the bottom of my heart, for everyone here, not just the people who've donated. So I get really sentimental when I go to Pokemon competitions, and it's really bad. It's really bad, because then I'm like, wow, this stupid little video game, this stupid stinky little yellow rat guy made me just, like, it kind of just got me out of a lot of really bad places in my life, and, like, if it weren't for me being in the Pokemon community during some of the worst parts of my entire life, I don't know if I'd be here right now. And that's really a weird thing to say if you think about it in, like, the actual context of life. But, like, it's kind of true. And then I'm like, wow. It's like if little Lindsay were here right now at, like, 5 years old, like, going through it and just, you know, virtually escaping through Pokemon, just trying to take it day by day, right? If she were to see where I'm at now, she'd be so happy and so proud, and that just makes me cry a little bit sometimes. So thanks, chat, for making me not alone and letting me do this as a job, because it means a lot. So, it means a lot. Thanks, guys. I'm trying to, like, stop the tears because my eyes are rapidly getting red. And I'm not crying on stream. I can't do it. So, thank you guys. It means a lot. I'm going to show you guys the silly little cardboard now, and I'm going to distract from the fact that I'm crying. All right, basic energy. Carvanha. Ekans. Turtwig. Poochyena. Zera the Aura. Sharpedo. Metagross. Poochyena. Reverse Holo Metang. And Koraidon. Big Stinky Lizard Man. Big Stinky Lizard Man. I think he's technically a restricted mon in VGC. I just kind of forget. I don't know how they qualify. I just have little guys. And then I made a silly team that either gets swept or I sweep, and there's not really much of an in-between. And it's called Giraffic Park, because I have 2 different giraffes on it, and it's really silly. Pokemon brings everyone together for the better. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna not cry when I say this either. When we were at Worlds, and there was like a little, like, I almost cried during closing ceremony. But like the one where it really got me was when we were on the beach. And there was like one song that they used for like all of Worlds. But they did a little like drone show and a little like where we came from versus where we are now kind of a thing. And I got, oh, Chad, it got me so good. And now I can't listen to that song without becoming really sentimental and crying. Like not like sobbing crying, but it's like, you know, where your eyes water and you're like, this is fine, I'm fine. It's like that. So I'm like, I'm really nervous to go to Worlds this year now for like a good reason, right? Because I'm like, I'm gonna get really sentimental again, and then I'm gonna be like, you know what I mean? It's a whole thing. Trauma bonding, am I right, chat? Alrighty. Lightning Energy, Wiglet, Meltan, C-Dot, Totodile, Roserade, Excadrill, Keldeo, my good boy, Iron Thorns, Mr. Mime. Oh, and Explorer's Guidance? We have a full art trainer card? Chat, we've discovered man! Oh, hi, Coda. Coda just broke open my door. Man. Chat, have you tried exploring man? That's what he is. Hi, Coda. You guys might remember Dakota as Small Head from the subathon, for those of you guys who were here. That's how Vandia refers to her. Coda, what you doing? Are you scavenging? Because that's what you do. I wish I could go to Worlds this year. Attending Pokemon World Championships, the very top of my bucket list. If you ever get the opportunity to go, I do highly recommend it. It's very worth it. If you're not into the competitive side of it, like, you will kind of struggle because there's not like much to do at the actual venue that's not the competition, unless you get tickets to the Pokemon Center, and even then it's like, you go shopping, then what? But just watching it happen and just like the amount of people you're surrounded by who are just so passionate, and like they're all so nice too. Like, that's the thing about Pokemon fans that are like so cool, is like, I was at the store earlier and I have a Leafeon little plushie that I got at the Pokemon Center, not Pokemon Center, at regionals, that I put on my backpack, and she waddled up to me. She's like this. She's like, I like your Leafeon keychain. Okay, bye. And so it's just like, they're all so sweet. Like, I love the Pokemon community. I love them. Oh, you play VGC. That's so fun. You went 4-4. That's what Vandy's roommate did earlier this weekend. It was his first VGC tournament he'd ever done. And he went 4-4. And it was really cool. Did you leave? You're still in here? Okay, you gotta go. Coda. Go bye. I would try to lift you, but you're not gonna like it, will you? No, you're not gonna like it. You're such a sassafras. She has gravitational insecurities, chat. If you lift her off the ground, she panics. Alright, you go see your mom. You go see your mom. Her two paws went off the ground, not even an inch, and she went, ah! Gravitational insecurities. Someone complimented my Piplup plush at EUIC. I love that. I love them. The team I've been doing recently is really silly. It's like Attack Girafarig. And you play off of it with Psychic Terrain and Indeedee with Expanding Force, and then you run Indeedee as the support, and you run Farigiraf as one of your special attackers. But then you have the utility to Baton Pass switch with your Nasty Plots into either like Spectrier in the back or what's your name? Raging Bolt. I kept wanting to call it Thunderclap, and I'm like, that's the move. All right, Leaf Energy, Haunter, Pikachu, Ghastly, LGM, Buddy Poffin, Zeraora, Sharpedo, Snom, Sawsbuck, and Iron Valiant. Yippee! Yesterday was my cat Jamie's 2nd birthday. I love that. I hope they have a happy birthday. That's so fun. I also saw that it's someone else's birthday, like, tomorrow, I think it was. Or, like, next Thursday, something like that. But happy early birthday to whoever I can't remember. I saw it in passing and then I got distracted by something. But it's someone's birthday coming up, and I hope they have a magical birthday. Cody's is tomorrow. Happy early birthday, Cody. Happy early birthday. All right. Dark energy. Mincino. Rockruff. Linton. Shroomish. Ancient booster energy. Rapidash. Boltund. Reverse hollow LGM. Reverse hollow Haunter. And Iron Valiant again. Also, chat. Speaking of Mincino, I have to show you the Cincino I got at regionals. Look at her. Is she not perfect in every way? She's so fluffy. I love her. She's a baby. I love her so much. She's with my furret down there, so you guys might be able to see her in the background. But I'm excited to see you at Worlds, Koza. It's gonna be really, really cool. But there were a few moments where we were on camera during like the final day of VGC, and like she was in my lap, and a lot of people were like, that's how people found out I got her. The amount of people who either messaged me or Vandy and were like, I see Cincino, and I was like, that's me. So she's here now, and we love her. We love her a lot. If you have lag, you should refresh. I'm not dropping any frames, so it might just be your internet. Internet or just like the latency. Sometimes that happens with like streaming platforms. Alrighty, here we go. We have Fighting Energy, Totodile, Deerling, Pidove, Pineco, Mist Energy, Sawsbuck, Code Breaking, Reverse Hollow Sableye, Reverse Hollow Airy, and Scizor. Scizor EX. Yippee! It might have been just a YouTube thing then. Sometimes it happens. Unfortunately, it's out of streamers' control, aside from like OBS stuff, but it might just be a YouTube thing. If you refresh, it should fix the problem. Alrighty. Okay. We have Water Energy, Deerling, Pidove, Pineco, Mawile, Delmise, Electivire. Hey, would you look at that, chat? Cincino, Reverse Hollow Turtonator, Reverse Hollow Bronzor, and Melmetal. My friend Blue made a really silly team. I don't know like why looking at Cincino made me think of it, but I think it's because it's white and it reminds me of Tandemaus and like Mousehold. But Blue made a VGC team that is Gravity Pop Bomb. Very nutty strategy. Very stupid, stinky, smelly. But if you're ever looking for a really silly team to run, very silly. My favorite Pokemon is Flareon though, for nostalgia reasons. It was my first starter I ever had because my first game was XD Gale of Darkness. But my favorite Pokemon, in no particular order, are Flareon, Weavile, Milotic, Mega Altaria, and Mega Absol. Roserade, Excadrill, Goodnight Kirst, Nuzleaf, Dunsparce, and Bramblegast. Yeah, I will not be live tomorrow because of the fact that I work a double, but I should be back Friday because my mom's trading her car in now. I'm going to be with her while she test drives 2 different cars, but I will be driving separately so then that way I can come back and stream in time. So, You guys will see me on Friday, I think it is. I don't even know what today is, chat. I know my schedule based off what my shifts are whatever day, and that's about it. All right, Minzino, Rockruff, Keldeo, Delmise, Aletivire. Hey, speaking of Farigiraf, Giraffarig, Reverse Hollow Meltan, and Roaring Moon. Doubles are pretty fun. I prefer doubles, to be honest with you. Like, it just makes you have to think more, and like, there's just so many more fun strats I feel like you can do. I don't know. I haven't dabbled in singles enough. I think the draft league I did was singles, maybe. But that would have been like back in Gen 6. I can't remember if that was it singles? I don't even remember. But I got third in that one, I think. I remember I had Mega Lop, Contrary Superior, and Hoopa Unbound are like the main members of the team I remember. Anyways, I digress. Chat, Psychic Energy. Focus. Yay. Lickitung. Charjabug. Slugma. Solosis. Mudsdale. Explorer's Guidance. Colossal. Duosion. Boltund. And Melmetal. Alright, chat. I'm gonna do 2 more packs, and then I'm going to go downstairs and I'm gonna make my self-care hash browns. So, we'll see if we get any last few packs magic. I do have a few packs like left, so the booster box isn't done, but we'll save them for next time, just because. Fun fact, chat, I ate lunch and I have not eaten since, so my tummy is rumbling, and I need self-care hash browns so I don't crash out, especially given the fact that I'm about to have a long day tomorrow, and I'm terrified, actually. Reverse Hollow Finizen and Iron Thorns. Like, I'm not gonna lie, chat, I'm so scared. I'm so scared for this double. Just because I know it's just gonna be so busy. Big fan of story time. It took me an hour to get through my life recently, Ben. Also, I saw what you sent me. I was in the middle of getting a rental car when you sent it to me, so I didn't get a chance to respond. I will do my best to attend. I make no promises. I have seen that location before. It's magical. It's wonderful. I'm a big fan of what they have. I will do my best. Why did my mom text me twice? Oh, okay. Here we go. Basic Energy. Roselia. Cutiefly. Drillbur. Rellor. Centiskorch. Buddy Buddy Poffin. Iron Treads. Future Booster. Rapska, and Brambleghast. That was a really lame one to end it on. I hate that. I have another place I can send you, Ben, too. That's really cool. They also sell what you were looking at, too. And I'll send it to you mainly because it's really pretty and like the photo ops are really cute. And she might like it. So just for vibes, just so you have it as a backup in case as well. I recently found it while my extended family was in town, and it's really cool. So, I'll send it to you because they have the exact same thing you were looking at. So, anyways, chat, I am going to go make mental health hash browns because that's what I need to survive at this point. I'm very hungry and my tummy is rumbling, and now it's doing the point where it's like on the inside. You know what I'm saying? But thank you guys so much for coming out. I won't be live again until Friday. Today's what day? I think it's Wednesday. But I won't be live until Friday. I have Friday off. I'm not sure if I'll stream on Easter. We'll see. It just kind of depends on what my family ends up doing. I don't think we have plans as of right now, but I don't know what Easter's gonna be. But my hours go back to normal. Like, I'm on a normal schedule. really conveniently, after this week. I just had to get through the whirlwind that was these last 2 weeks with my hours going like kablamo, and having the most hours I have in a long time, in order for me to get back at my baseline. So I'm back at my baseline next week, and then I hope I can say the good news that I can't talk about yet, because that'll be really cool. But thank you guys so much again for all the love and just like hearing me yap into the void about my life and just like everything. Excuse me, I have the hiccups again. Everything that's been happening. It's been a lot, chat. It has been a lot, but thank you guys so much again for all the love. You guys showed so much more love than I ever could have expected given what this stream was. But I'm gonna take care of myself because I need it. So this is your daily reminder, chat, that you guys need to do the same because life is hard. You only live once. Hash browns are eternal. Do whatever you need to do to make sure that you are okay. And whether that's, you know, taking a nap, following doctor's orders, you know, like getting water, you know, getting a little snack because you deserve it. You know what I'm saying? Self-care is the most important care. There's only one of you, chat, and nobody can ever replace you. In case no one told you today, chat, I'm proud of you for surviving another day. But I will see you guys all on Friday when I am back, and hopefully I can give you more car information from my mom as well. So we'll see. Anyways, have a good night, chat. Thank you for being here today. You guys are wonderful. Goodbye.